is the greatest day or one of the greatest days. And for me, it's the second greatest day. And the first greatest day will come next week on Friday when, we see our graduates come across the stage and get to hand them their diploma. But listening to your stories and your willingness to come back at the end of the year, there's a little bit of a heightened awareness. Everybody knows the conclusion of the school year is here. Weather's breaking, a little pumped up for summer. And I traveled between all the buildings today and it was amazing. It was silence. You capture these kids. And that's a feat in and of itself. When you hear about, Manny talking earlier, when you're 1 to 8, your mindset's one way, and when you're 9 to 16 and so on and so forth. And we have such a spectrum of kids, from, ages 12 to 20 at the moment, and still being able to walk through the hallway and just to hear the silence and hear the stories that you're telling them, the advice that you're providing to them. I think it is well received. And I truly do think that this day does have a huge impact on these kids and their futures. To know this is just a stepping stone here. You have life all in front of you and you can make, it's all about choices, as we heard earlier. And I apologize, I didn't introduce myself. For those who don't know me, my name's Eric Golden. I'm the CEO here at Ketterer Charter School. I've been here since 2007 at the school, 1996 in the organization. And it's a passion. I love this. I love this work. And again, just wanted to thank all of you for your time.
Yeah, and I echo everything Mr. Golden said, and it's kind of going through it. I couldn't catch everybody's speech. I tried to get a little here, a little there. I tried to hear everybody. And to see, just not even mentioning any names, but like I saw kids crying. I saw kids, kind of breaking down, crying. He connected with the speaker and it was emotional for him. Staff, I saw staff crying, saying how impactful, that moment was. I cried like 4 or 5 times. So I really feel like, those are the things and those are the moments. And I can't thank you guys enough for your time. And, I know a lot of you guys have come from a long way. I think, Zach, you're the farthest, right? Georgia, you're coming from Georgia. So that, I know that's time. I know, and then I know you guys have jobs and families and things going on, but I really appreciate you guys carving the time out and coming back and giving to talk to these youth. Anything that you guys feel like, anything from the good that you felt today that was like impactful for you guys, or you feel like we could do differently? Anything? Yeah.
I would just say what I discussed with you before is try to do this more often than once a year, because fortunately, it's going to be cases where, it was a lot of information for them to download today. All of it ain't going to stick with them just this one day. So even if it's just video conferences from time to time, whether that be every quarter or in person every quarter, something like that. That way we stay connected, especially with the kids that are not leaving right away. The ones that's going to be here another 6 months, another 3 months. If we all stay connected with them, then we can further encourage them, further remind them like, yo, you got this. Yeah. I listened to a kid today who's 18, told me he's on his way out of here, but he's scared to go home because he's from a place that's, really crazy. So I mentioned your name and I told him, I said, tell him you're scared to go home, see what they can figure out, but he's leaving. And so, he'll be on my mind about how he makes it. But, we do this more often, I think it'll be impactful.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Just going off what he's saying, I think that maybe coming up with some sort of program where like the alumni that are, constantly coming back every year or are willing to have phone calls from kids that are struggling and, we could always help be like, hey, like this is, yeah, I went through the same thing. Or like if you guys realize that a kid's going through something that you remember part of my story that you think I might be able to help them, getting them in touch with one of us for us to be able to talk to.
I was actually just thinking along what she was saying, like some kind of alumni outreach program.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if they're just not particularly doing great. And sometimes I know even for myself, like when I was in group, sometimes a staff member is just not enough to, you
Connect
know,
with.
connect with, yeah.
And in their mind, they
Um,
feel like it's like forced.
Yeah, whereas like, you know, talking to one of
Yeah,
us,
sometimes
they
we feel
know that
rich.
we have been at one point or another in their shoes, or in some way in their shoes. And I think that, I mean,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It was like, I reached out to you about alumni association or something that, you know, because a lot of us, we've been coming back year after year. And we spent years here.
like a
Even with us interacting together, I mean, we could be a good support system to each other.
Especially like how spread out we are. Like, we're in so many different counties of like, especially if they're in a county, if they're getting ready to come home, they need someone in that county. Like, we could be someone that like, we meet with them once a week, or we go hang out with them, we go out to eat, we take them out to eat, we do something with them. That they have something positive to look forward to and someone that they can possibly connect with.
Just to have our personal number.
Yeah,
There was a kid, I think my first year, he wanted my Facebook. He was on his way home. I don't know if you remember. He was from Reading.
I do.
He didn't ever reach out to me, but you know, I did give him the information. I would have loved to hear from him, you know, calling me and FaceTiming for 20 minutes, a half an hour. You know, that's nothing in the bigger scheme of things. So,
I think a lot of us are committed to helping because we had the help for ourselves and now like we're able to have a future. So like just we're wanting to help and we want to do more than just this.
And it'll give us opportunity to do things, you know, like, we used to do the Olympics, do stuff and help that way. And I got that idea because we went to a football tournament that was kind of put on with the funds going to a youth home. So, even though I'm 850 miles away, you know, that's the least we can do.
the only thing that I would say that I had wasn't really a problem. Like just that I had a hard time with was finding what to say to the kids that are from the other side of the school, that aren't in the group homes. That was the only, remind you, this is my first time. But I just didn't know what to say, you know what I mean? Because they're in a somewhat of a different situation than what we were in, or some of us were in. So I just found it hard because I just didn't know what to say or what to advice or anything
get
to give them.
Yeah, those are the tougher ones, are the ones that they treat and like, but as you do this over the year, like my last one was day treatment, so instead of like giving the spiel, sometimes you just have to sit down and start talking to them, like finding out things about them and it's tough, like those are the two tougher ones that I had myself and.
I don't think there's much of a difference. I mean,
Just not.
all of our students have some type of adversity.
Right,
now.
but if you teach them the basics, like,
That's
it
exactly
doesn't matter like what program you're in, but it's like, if you take what you're learning here, like the conference, right? Use that in the business world because your boss is going to confront you and say, hey, you suck at this, you know? Instead of saying, hey, screw you, you say, oh, I'm sorry, how should I have done this? You know, so the things you learn here, you can transfer to out there, and that's where I like. Put that on.
Going on to the alumni outreach thing, I think it would even be beneficial for individual houses to have some kind of alumni thing too, like not just the school where you speak to everyone, but just like maybe like a main thing for this specific group home you're at, or like something like that, so that those kids that are specifically there can get more about you and like, I don't know, maybe trying to think of
Yeah.
some way that it could like, you know, help, like whether. Because going from class to class is nice, but, like I was thinking along, what somebody back here said, about like, you know, it's just like, as I came here, you know, and I was talking to people, obviously I was nervous being that it was my first time. But at the same time, I was just like, I was telling this so, like, I hope they, you know, took in what I said. Like, I hope that they're, you know, gonna acknowledge. Um,
And Colby doesn't want pizza. I got that.
He told me.
No
not to say
pizza
no.
next year. He says he's
Since
over
you brought
the
it
pizza.
up. You know,
Over the
corporate, thank you for making us $1 million this year, much, so.
I got it. I wrote it down. No
How about
pizza.
wraps?
No pizza
Wrap
next year.
sounds good.
They got some really good ones that they get here once in a while.
I got it. I got that stuff. Anybody else? Well, I thank you guys again for coming. I can't say enough how I appreciate it. I'll be in touch for sure. And you guys know if you need anything,
Do
I'm
you,
here.
I do have a question. Do you see any difference in the kids short term after we leave?
Oh, for sure. They talk about it
They
a
talk.
lot. Like they will talk about it a lot. Mr. Patrick.
I just say my girls were really upset that they weren't gonna have Tim this year.
Oh, and that's why these girls are here.
Tell them I tried.
Last year,
It's
that they
those-
wanna see the video of you this year.
Well,
Yeah.
They
Mr.
said you were
Patrick,
truly inspirational.
Mr. Patrick, these ladies are here to
No,
meet
you
with.
guys can, you guys hang out. They're gonna, yep, it's good.
Their
Don't need to
request
go
is
away.
granted.
Oh, excellent.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
go ahead.
So I'm the freshest off the boat. I graduated last year, and I've actually seen some of you talk myself. I just want you guys to know that you guys do have impact on us. We do
What's up,
take
man?
whatever you guys give us to do.
You think it would have been beneficial to talk more throughout the year that you were here? You're like doing all that?
You guys have amazing things to say. It'll be awesome to have more support about somebody like what you guys are going through, like, because like in my
Somebody
situation, you
chooses
same
to
as
be
yours,
there.
like you never know.
Like it's awesome, but knowing, like even my son, I tell him handsome all the time. He goes, well, you're supposed to say that. No, he's just a handsome kid. Like, yeah, maybe I'm biased, but no, not now. Like you're just a handsome kid. But I think that people that are being paid, even if you're wonderful, in their mind, well, you're getting paid to do this. But then if somebody's not getting paid and they're up there and they're doing it because they choose to do it and they live through it, it's a little bit of a different notion, you know, more receptive.
Anything else, VP? Thank you all. Safe travels home. Mr. Patrick.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
You don't realize how much you impact.
You guys put it all together. We just show up.
Yep.
Right?